And I emphasize the word team because it's a lot of people that make a difference in your lives every day. It's not just the mayor or members of council, finance director, but it's actually about 300 people that work for the City of Independence that on any given day provide a service to each and every one of us. So it's the city's team that really does and provides the excellent services for each of us. Talk about accomplishments. Well, last year, in 2009, we were ranked number 3 by Cleveland Magazine. And I don't care if we're number 1 or number 3 or number 10, number 15. It doesn't matter to me because if you're in the top tier, that means a lot. And I think that council, and I give them credit because when they came up with our slogan last year of independence, the best place to live, work, visit, and raise a family, I think that says it all. It's all encompassing. Because if we can do that, live here, raise a family, feel safe, feel provided for, I don't know what else you can ask for from a city. And we do that. Enhanced communication. Well, how many have a computer here? Good, most of you. If you don't have them, you will get them. Because it's exciting what's going to take place in the near future. June 1st, Jim Gibbs. I have to recognize Jim. Jim, raise your hand. Don't put your glasses on, Jim. But Jim Gibbs, our IT expert. Jim does so much for this city. He's the guy behind the scenes that makes it all work. He's the guy, he's never out front. He's always the guy pulling on the rope in the right direction to make sure that each and every one of you benefit. For example, he's launching this new website, which council approved. He's launching that June 1st. And it's going to be very exciting. The opportunities, the additional information that will be provided to you on a daily basis is going to be fantastic. So I encourage each and every one of you to get your computers, hook them up, get access to the web link, and you're going to be all set. Because we're not only going to have the general information, you're going to have departmental information. You're going to be able to sign up for programs and trips online. You're going to be able to find out what's going on in committee meetings, council meetings. We've talked about communication over the past year or so. Well, there's no excuses now because you're going to have every bit of access through the newsletter, through the website. You'll find out what's going on. That'll all be identified further in the June newsletter. Talk about enhanced communication. Everyone's going to have the opportunity to get my administrative update. What started out some time ago as a document for council's eyes only, every week we try to tell council what's going on in the city in terms of from the administration standpoint. So there's no surprises. And every week we pass that out. Well, during last fall's election, others started asking for the information. So now what we do is once you get on the email list, and by the way, there's a piece of paper in front of you in the center of the table, which will allow you not only to submit your email address before you leave, but also I encourage you to submit any questions, suggestions, ideas, complaints. No complaints, excuse me. No complaints. Remember, we just fed you. So my mom always told me, on a full stomach, you're much more okay. So the administrative update will be available to everyone in the city. And it's very interesting read if you have the time. It'll tell you more of the details of what's going on in the city, but also we take a different perspective. I also report on what's going on at the mayor's meetings. I report on what's going on in the state. And so it gives you a better flavor of the bigger picture and how it relates back to our city. So make sure you submit your email address before you leave. Now, when you talk about appreciating the past, you can't help but remember some of the shows that used to be on TV. But before I talk about financial challenges, I want to take a walk down memory lane And how many remember the honeymooners? Now, if 90% of the hands don't go up here, then I guess I quit. Okay, Jim, roll it.
What are we going to do? What are we going to live on until this layoff is over? Suppose it does last a month.
Well, we just got to face it. Just have to cut out this high living.
High living?
Yes, high living. We'll just have to cut out a few luxuries.
All right. How about you giving up bowling?
Now, let's not get panicky. Let's face this thing intelligently. There's just one way to do it. We got to find out how much money we owe and how much money we have. Then we deduct the money that we owe from the money we have, and the money we have left is what we're going to live on. Now, where are the bills? And I'll start fixing it up.
In the top drawer.
Very simple. Nothing to get excited about. Just remain calm. Well, here. That's $4.95. Here. $4.95 FD. And a half. All right. That comes to $186.32. Now, that's what we owe. Now, we have to deduct that from what we have. Now, this is an emergency, so we got to take into consideration all the money we have. Whatever we have in war bonds, whatever we have in the bank, whatever you have hidden around here. All the money we got in our Christmas club, all of it. Now, all of that lumped into one big ball amounts to what?
$12.83.
$12.83. You sure that's all of it?
That's right, Ralph. That's all, including 3 Indian head pennies and a 2-cent stamp.
Well, that speaks volumes, doesn't it? Remember those days? Well, the City of Independence, we have our set of challenges we face. I mean, we're not immune to what's going on nationally and internationally. I just read this morning where Greece is borrowing all this money, and some of you may have read the paper, and you see this one is $1 trillion in debt, Spain's $1 trillion in debt, Italy is $1.4 trillion in debt. This issue of financial challenges, it's not germane just to the United States of America. It's all over the world. And it's not germane just to the state of Ohio. Every state faces its challenges. And it's not germane just to the City of Independence, because every community faces its challenges. We have fared better than most because we have several goals and mandates from council. Keeping the city in the black is one of them. And I'm happy to report that we finished $1.8 million cash position better last year, John. So what we're trying to do is do more with less. We're trying to be more efficient with the services we provide. Reduce our debt. Reducing our debt's been a challenge, something we've had to address every year, and we're doing that. Commercial property vacancies, you know, that's our lifeline. Everyone realizes and is aware of the fact that without Rockside Road, without Pleasant Valley, without the ITC, we would be in a different frame of mind financially. Fortunately, that's not the case. But the vacancy rate's about 22% now, and I remember years when it was as low as 5%. So you can see that we are part of that same challenge that this country faces and the world faces. And property values, well, I can tell you that the schools depend more on property values rising than the City of Independence. See, because the majority of the property tax goes to educate our children. And the city is part of that equation, but we're not dependent on property tax.